Yeah, that's it. Welcome back to another episode of Minister Truth. I am your only host on this show. Got a lot to go over with because I've been off for a couple days. And, yeah, we're just going to watch some videos. I'm going to talk. I always talk with it. And, just a break from retardation that happens all around the interwebs. So without further ado, I'd like to start off with a good song. And today being Friday, Gotta Get Down on Friday. No, it's not that song. I promise. It's a new Tom McDonald song. I liked it when I heard it on my Apple Music this morning, so I don't see why we can't play it.
There's a man on TV at a desk in a suit. He lies through his teeth and they still call it the news. And there's a man in a white coat whose medicine kills. He loves when you're sick cause you pay for his pills. There's a man at the bank who will give you a loan so that you'll buy a house and then he'll take your home. There's a man who wants you spending your life online. Knows you're searching for truth but controls what you find. We'll be fine, babe.
I deserve more than him. So.
There's a man in a church who I really hope told me the truth. Said there's a man in the sky watching over me and you.
Yeah, me.
It don't help if you can fly.
Long time no see, dog.
And there's men here on the ground that just want to burn it down. They want money, they want power, don't want no one else allowed. We'll be fine, babe. I'll be the man for you. There's a man in a court sworn to uphold the law, but he's crooked as a fence post and don't do his job. There's a man in a classroom who should know the facts, but he's brainwashing kids, teaching English and math. There's a man in your phone who hears everything you say. He knows everywhere you go, every joke you ever made. There's a man with a bloodline that owns the whole world. Every airplane and building and gold brick and pearl. We'll be fine, babe. But if we don't make it through, there's a man in a church who I really hope told me the truth. Said there's a man in the sky watching over me and you. It don't help if you can fly. He's way past the moon. And there's men here on the ground that just want to burn it down. They want money, they want power, don't want no one else allowed.
I want to burn it all over.
I'll be the man for you. Pray that the man in the sky's watching over us tonight, cause there's people looking down on us for fighting for what's right. Hold the line, babe, and I'll hold on to you.
He's singing to the goat?
There's a man in the clouds,
That's
and I
sweet.
hope he's looking down.
Kinda weird that
there's
he called
people
the sheep.
here on earth who trying to put us in the ground. We'll be fine, babe. I won't let go of you. Said there's a man in the sky watching over me and you. It don't help if you can fly. He's way past the moon. And there's men here on the ground that just want to burn it down. They want money, they want power, don't want no one else allowed. We'll be fine, babe. I'll be the man for you.
There you go. New Tom McDonald. I liked it, but it doesn't matter what I like, because I'm going to play whatever the fuck I want on the show. And welcome back. Yes. Welcome back. Hold on. I don't know why I decided that. Give me 2 seconds. Let me pull this up for you. Hopefully it doesn't come on the screen. There we go. You ready?
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around.
All right, enough of that. Some of us from the older generation, and I think this show is a little older than me, but it is what it is, and let's get to the first topic. This is all jumbled because this is what I've been saving since the 19th. Wait, that's not the 19th. Yeah, that's just the count. It doesn't really matter. Get into the first video, and it's about food stamps. Go figure.
I got a DHS letter in the mail this morning, and
Bro, wait till he explains all about this cunt. She ain't hurting for nothing.
just now opened it. And somebody reported me to the state of Michigan because I'm making money on TikTok and I drive a 2024 BMW. They have cut my food stamps from almost $4,000 a month down to $88 a month.
Yo, she had a brand new 2024 BMW that she had to sell because her food stamps went to $4,000 to $88. How in the world was she getting $4,000 in food stamps a month? Wow. And she's a streamer?
They are telling me if I want a review.
Wait, did she say she was getting $4,000 in food stamps a month? $4,000 in food stamps a month?
That's what I said.
How many children does she have?
Like 800.
And how many children does she have out of wedlock? Hold
800.
on. I always like to give credit to the content creators. So the link is always going to be down in the description back to the content creator. And thank you guys for sending me this to react to, regardless of whether I agree with it or not.
No worries.
I always like to credit the content creator. So that goes without saying. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off life. Did she say $4,000 a month? So you're being subsidized by the federal government, by taxpayers, by $4,000 a month?
Nope.
I just got to back up for a second and go back to the beginning and hear this in its full
context. I literally had to destroy my body for 20 years to get $4,000 a month. Yeah. And guess what? That's never going away. Fucking liberals.
Context before we really start to react to it. Because I don't want to get ahead of myself, and it may be something that I missed that actually, it may substantiate why she deserves it. So let me get back to the original message.
I got a DHS letter in the mail this morning, and I just now opened it. And somebody reported me to the state of Michigan because I'm making money on TikTok and I drive a 2024 BMW. They have cut my food stamps from almost $4,000 a month down to $88 a month. They are telling me if I want a review that I have to sell.
This bitch doesn't have an upper lip. Look. Matter of fact, she doesn't have lips, period. It goes straight from nose and chin to. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole in the bottom of the sea.
My car. So you're telling me if you were on welfare, food stamps, cash assistance, Section 8, you can't drive a nice car? They are forcing me to sell my brand new BMW.
$4,000 in food stamps, Section 8 housing. Oh, man. How do I get that?
Or I lose almost $4,000 in food stamps. Not only that, they have taken my cash assistance totally away. They are telling me that Section 8 will no longer be paying 95% of my rent.
Good.
Only 10% of my rent.
Even better.
So I will have to pay a little over $400 a month now instead of $60 a month.
Yo, where the fuck are you living for $400 a month? In Michigan. What's up, community cardio?
She got rent that's only $400 a month.
My mortgage is
They cannot do this. They cannot make me sell my car. They cannot cut my food stamps.
They can.
Has anybody else been in a similar situation? What do I do? What kind of rights do I
It's a
have?
real job.
Because I can't work, but I'm not selling my car. But I also need the 4,000 of food stamps.
That's a lot of fucking food.
I'm at a...
Wait. Why can't she work?
Exactly.
Why can't she, can somebody fill me in on why can't she work? Why can't she work?
Because she
I don't
doesn't have a
understand.
lip.
What's preventing her from working? You know, I tell people this all the time. I tell black people this all the
Hey,
time.
Angela,
I had
do
these
you?
arguments, knockdown, drag down arguments on my platform on Monday nights on a regular basis where I help people to understand that the people that are on government assistance the most are white people.
Yup.
It's just the facts. And a lot of times, before I get to her, because there's an educational aspect to this, there's an accountability aspect to this, and so we want to have both. But before we do that, I just want to help y'all to understand that a lot of times y'all are pedestalizing. Y'all are absolutely glazing to the top of your lungs, glazing a group of people. Now, obviously, this is not applicable to all white people, the same way that everything I say about black people is not
All right, we're gonna
applicable
talk
to.
too much after that. Just thought I'd show that crazy looking bitch who obviously doesn't have lips. So I think she might be part of something worse, right? She might be one of those little fucking frogs. Wait, frogs have lips. Lizards. Lizards don't have lips, right? Hey, what's up, Rockstar? She could be one of those. So we need to watch out for her. And we know she's paid for by the government because she got $4,000 a month. Maybe she was a paid operative for the Biden, whatever you want to call him. Huh? How about that? All right, moving on. So what happens when a super liberal, a rich liberal, gets an awakening to where she realizes that not only the Democratic Party full of shit, but they're more like China. And she would know.
My great-grandfather was murdered by Communist Party adherents. During the Qing Dynasty, and for many eras before, people always gravitated towards Confucianism as a rallying point, as a religious tinted idea that everyone could get behind. But after Communist China came, they needed a new thing to rally around. The idea behind communism at the very beginning was to lift people out of poverty, and communist ideology provided that. And a lot of people realized that, but it was something to get behind. It was almost a Faustian bargain. If you give me wealth and riches, if you give me stability and order, then I won't protest. I won't launch a political opposition. People who buy into the system, people who buy into Communist Party ideology, they reap the rewards of that sort of loyalty.
She just said hoes ain't loyal.
Communism is a sham because there are classes in China. You start with Xi Jinping and the princelings around him, the people who do as they're told, the people who help to perpetuate the social hierarchy and the class structure, and the officials who siphon off public funds for their own good. And then you have the middle layer of bureaucrats around the country who are kind of satellite sycophants of Beijing. They also do what they're told. And then you have everybody else, and there's a word for that, 老百姓, which is basically the common people.
Oh, okay.
And the common people aren't exactly having the greatest time.
Come on. No lie though.
My dad's side of the family has suffered so much. My dad's grandfather was murdered by the communist regime. My grandparents on my father's side are illiterate rice farmers. They don't even speak the dialect. So because they were not adherents to the Communist Party, they did not have opportunities to climb up the economic ladder. And so that was a punishment that was meted out to them. They lived in these shanty huts with dilapidated floors. It's just been really hard.
That's what she said. Oh, wait.
Socialism demands misogyny in order to perpetuate itself. It needs to put women under control. Women need to be docile and submissive and just to, churn out the babies and to help the Chinese economic machine. During the Cultural Revolution, Mao Zedong forced the women to have as many children as possible. So these farmers in far-flung villages in China had 10 to 12 kids, and resulting in a huge population boom. In order to reverse the damage done by that policy, China had to institute the one-child policy. Misogyny in Chinese culture is still very much alive. My value is measured by traditional metrics, like whether I'm married or I have a child. When I was born, I found out that they had preferred to have a son. That was one of my earliest recollections. My parents left me a few weeks after I was born, so my grandmother ended up being my mother, essentially, for the first 3 to 4 years of my life. And even today with the Communist Party, they have something called 剩女. It's called leftover women policy. And women above the age of 27, which I am, are considered leftover women, and we have something called 剩女. It's called leftover women policy, and women above the age of 27, which I am, are considered leftover women. And the Communist Party is doing everything it can to promote marriage and to get these professional women to find husbands. And due to the one-child policy, there's a tremendous gender imbalance. Women aren't allowed to speak out.
What if we had one-child policy
So much
if you're on welfare? Huh? How about that? Now, what can we do if they decide to have a child? I don't know. They seem to love abortion so much.
No one's allowed to speak out. So the situation just continues unabated. The children are taught from an early age to follow the doctrines of the Communist Party. They learn this in school. Colleges are now changing the wording of their charter to reflect communist propaganda. And Fudan University was heretofore considered to be one of the best in the world, but it's succumbed to government pressure. Tiananmen Square essentially doesn't exist in Chinese history. There's no Google in China to begin with. There's something called Baidu, Weibo. You're not going to find anything about 1989. It's just completely scrubbed clean. The only pieces of history that one will ever find in China are completely sanitized. Hashtags that are critical of the government are quickly blocked. For example, messages of support about the doctor who died who sounded the alarm about coronavirus, they were quickly taken down. Professors who spoke out in favor of the Fudan University student protesters were immediately silenced. Any indications of support for Hong Kong are absolutely not accepted. And so people who are suffering as a result of poverty or the coronavirus or any sort of political persecution, they're not even given a chance to air their grievances. I just feel like, the doctor who alerted the world to the possibility of the coronavirus died. He was censored by authorities. Instead of being grateful that he sounded an alarm, the government sought to quash him and he ended up dying. That's just so emblematic of what's going on in China these days.
Oh yeah.
You cannot escape
Get me started on
Big Brother over there. It's just everywhere. And there's something in China called hukou, meaning that in order to move from one place to another, you need government permission. You can't just move willy-nilly. You need approval of the local authorities. So even to move internally is not a matter of freedom. And China has recently implemented a surveillance system. The United States government uses it to go after terrorists and drug lords. But the Chinese government is using surveillance to go after everyone, to make sure that they know who the opponents of the Communist Party are. My grandmother, who was a mother to me, she brought me up when my parents were gone. She lives on a government compound. There are soldiers around that compound, and everyone has to follow strict regulations. There are guards positioned everywhere, and I feel like I'm living in something out of like 1984. And when I go back, it's terrifying. It really is. Because economic growth is slowing down, how long are the Chinese people just going to go along with it? And I know a lot of Chinese Americans feel similarly to me, but they're too afraid to say it. America, for me, and I think it takes an immigrant to truly understand how powerful this country is despite our problems. I would not have been able to get such an amazing education. I can't even imagine it.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, hey, you guys have it good. You should see how these people in the other countries, the way they have to live and the way they get, like she said in China, live in a camp. You want a boy, you can't have more than one kid. Ah, fuck, I got fucked.
One reason why I was able to summon so much support for my congressional campaign here was that it was so novel and exhilarating for people to see a Chinese American woman. I'm speaking in regard to Chinese American immigrants. It was such a refreshing experience for them to see a woman speaking out on issues, because they just have never seen that before. But I am thoroughly American, and for me, it's just the natural thing to do. The fact that some people are seriously considering electing a Democratic Socialist makes my hair stand up. It terrifies me. The idea that a cult of personality is okay in America, I find that mortifying. Cults of personality, where have we seen that before? Nazi Germany, communist China. It never ends well. And the tactics that supporters of a certain candidate have used are just unacceptable to make people feel subhuman. How is that helpful to democracy at all? And these are the tactics employed by communist China. Silence. And, silence and suppression. And anyone who even offers a different point of view is immediately the enemy. There's no gray area at all. You're either with us or you're against us, and if you're against us, we destroy you. And that is the mantra of the Communist Party, and I feel like I'm seeing the beginnings of that in America today, which is why I'm fighting so forcefully to make sure that Americans are aware that social